Welcome back. This is the 8th round of the Pro League. Buenos Aires Krakens against Montreal Chessbrahs. Montreal Chessbrahs for the first time on the first board, woman world champion Hui Fan. By the way, for Montreal Chessbrahs on the first board, Hui Fan, Robin van Campen on the second board, Raja Panjwani and Michael Kleinman. So 2 GMs and 2 IMs. We play against Buenos Aires Krakens. So first board for them, Federico Perez Ponsa, 2059. Then Andres Obregon, another GM, 2515. Mario Villanueva, 2450. And Maximiliano Perez. By the way, we're following the game Federico Perez Ponsa against Michael Kleinman. Kleinman playing white. Kleinman went for e4, g6, d4, d6, knight c3, and a6. This is a modern system, or so-called Russian system, very popular one. Idea by black is to play bishop g7, to play b5, and to delay development of the knight on g8 as long as possible. After like a4, not the most popular reaction here, but certainly one of the options to stop b5 by black. b6, knight f3, bishop g7, bishop e3, knight e7, bishop c4, e6. By the way, e6 had to be played here. Otherwise, for all of you who just joined, bishop takes f7, followed by knight g5 and knight e6. Very nice, smothered mate to queen. That's why e6. Short castles, bishop e7, rook e1, and knight to e7. He went for the queen d2, wants to go with bishop h6, but of course, Perez Ponsa played h6 to stop that idea. Okay, time to check another game. So let's just go for the game of Raja Panjwani. Raja playing white against Andres Carlos Obregon, another GM from Buenos Aires Krakens. So Raja went for English c4, e5, knight c3, knight f6, knight f3, knight c6, and Raja opted for not that common but very interesting move e4. I remember Iwanchuk played it once and won an easy game lately, and Rakin as well, and this variation became very popular. Probably the worst reaction by black in this situation should be bishop c5. That's what this GM went for. He played bishop c5, and by the way, I remember Michael Adams played bishop before here, capturing that knight on c3 and going with the d6, knight e7, knight c5, and breaking eventually on the king's side with f5. Or just bishop b4, threatening to take on c3, and once white goes for d3, playing d6, and then the bishop should come back to c5 and get like full control of the dark squares. So this is good thing. Okay, after bishop c5, I don't think this is particularly good reaction by black. Knight takes c5, knight takes c5, bishop d4, queen d4, d6, bishop e2, castles, castles, h6, and f3. As far as I'm concerned, this is slightly but a long-term better for white. Last week, when I was just trying to send some messages to the audience, I just said that Raja has a very weird opening choices, but basically he's very good in his games. Especially in his middle games, and I like his style. Also, if you remember him and Shyam, they made like the best score last week, actually 4 days ago, and I already like his position very much. Okay, so that's the game. Okay, he went for rook f to d1, extremely solid. Bishop pair, wants to break with c5. I kind of like this position so much. This looks good. And don't forget, now we are going to check the game of new Chessbrah member and a leader of the team, Ho Yi-fan. Okay, so let's go there. Ho Yi-fan against international master Maxie Perez. Okay, Perez went for e4, c5, knight f3, a6. You certainly know the idea of this side system with a6. This is an interesting thing. It is aimed against d4, because if white goes for d4, black should capture d4, develop knight on f6. So d4, c takes, knight f6, e5 does not work because of queen a5 check. And after knight c3, e5, in which case knight on b5 would not be able to go there. That's why one of the best reactions is c4, but apart from c4, absolutely the best in order to take advantage of suspicious a6 is probably c3, but players rarely go for that because they gotta be familiar with an IQP type of positions and kind of Alapin type of games. So after c4, e6, and knight c3, queen c7, bishop e2, knight f6, castles, b6, c takes, knight takes, bishop b7, d6, bishop e7, and this is very nice position. 13th move, rook f to d1. It's Ho Yi-fan's position and move. So I just have to discuss about this position. This is hedgehog type of the game, and here black has two options. Rook ac1, traditional in the classic one, where black goes for queen b8, bishop d8, and bishop c7, well-known plan, or a very modern one, where the rook from f8 goes to c8, queen goes back to d8, goes eventually on f8, moving from the d file to defend and overprotect the pawn d6, rook goes from a to b8, and bishop goes to a8. Those are two basic plans. Ho Yi-fan played rook ac8, bishop f1, queen b8, queen f2, rook f to e8. It's a well-known idea. This rook on e8, once black wants to go with a d5, should hit the bishop on e3 at some point. And after b4, bishop d8, knight b3, bishop c7, g3, knight e5. G3 makes sense against the battery queen b8, bishop c7. This looks like a good plan, and knight d2. I don't like this G3 ideas. I mean, it looks, from one point of view, it looks logical because it's fighting off the battery queen b8, bishop c7. From another point of view, G3 just weakens this pawn structure, and I kind of like if I was in black's position, how can I somehow and eventually break this pawn structure somehow? Probably with some h5 and h4. She can also consider d5 immediately here, for example. And after c takes, I already like the position because f4 should never be played because of knight e to g4, and black looks good. I believe it's Ho Yi-fan's turn, and she's probably thinking about d5 to break here. But let's see what she's going to go for. I'm also considering options like h5, knight g6, and h4. Yes, she did it. She did it. She did d5. I'm pretty familiar with these positions because I've been playing them for more than 10 years, and I really enjoy them so much. By the way, the idea behind d5 was not just to break the pawn structure, but keep in mind white cannot take on b6 most likely, because after bishop e6, queen b6, probably some d takes e4 with a pretty active counter chances for black. Okay, this is going to be an interesting game. We'll get back to Ho Yi-fan's game because this is for her first appearance for Chessbrah team. And by the way, we just have to fully respect that. And also, we're just watching and analyzing the game of the best woman in the world. So this is a really big excitement for all of us. Okay, we'll get back to this game. Let's go to the game of Robin van Kempen. So Robin is facing Villanueva from Argentina. E4, Robin went for E5, knight F3, knight C6, bishop C4, bishop C5, C3, knight F6, and B4. Lately, this boring system of Italian or Giuco piano became absolutely the most popular in the world. Everybody nowadays play this, whether with white or black. So this is more or less roughly equal position after D3, D6, A4, A5, B5, knight E7, traditional journey of that knight that eventually goes on the king's side, goes on G6. So after castles, knight G6, knight BD2 castles, bishop B3, wants to play knight C4, C6, finding place for the bishop in case of knight C4 to be able to hide it on C7. B takes, rook B1, bishop C7, wants to overprotect pawn on E5 and eventually break it in the center with the D5. So after rook E1, D5, E takes, Robin captured by knight, knight D5, knight E4, and Robin played more or less a logical move H6 because he just has to stop the knight G5 idea. I like Robin's game. His position looks pretty nice. He probably wants to go with some F5 at some point, wants to go with rook E8, king H8, and F5, kicking the knight away from E4 and from the center, and eventually weakening the pawn on C3. Okay. I'd once again like to get back to the game of Hui Fan, who's playing black, and her opponent, Maxie Perez, went for, after 19th move, knight D2, D5, went for bishop B6. We spoke about this, and we said it shouldn't be entirely like problematic, because after bishop B6, I spoke about bishop B6, queen B6, D takes C4. Actually, I just have to correct myself. It's a little bit better to first take on E4 and then to see what is black gonna go for. So this looks good, and I'm pretty sure she knows what she's doing here, and probably she had this position on board many times, because up to move 18, where white went for G3, all these moves were more or less just very, very, you know, like popular, known, and more or less theoretical. Okay, bishop B6, we're waiting for her decision. Is she gonna take on E4 immediately, or play something else? I don't see anything better, but bishop B6, queen B6, D takes E4, or D takes E4 first, because I can see lots of tactical opportunities for black after that. So that's kind of interesting. By the way, once again, we're in the 8th round of the Pro League. I'll be your commentator tonight, just like all previous weeks, except the last one. My name is Miodrag Perunovic, international master from Serbia, and I'll be here with you commentating all these games, and hope we'll enjoy Chessbrah win together tonight. By the way, we're analyzing the game between Hui Fan playing black against international master Maxie Perez from Argentina. So 20th move by black was bishop E6, and I can feel like a very, very big complications in this game, but That's what we all like. When I say all like, I mean all of us who play this hedgehog position. So let's go. Bishop e6, d takes e4. If knight c takes e4, bishop e6, d takes e4, knight c takes e4, then bishop e6, queen b6, knight takes f3, knight f3, and for example, either bishop e4, knight takes e4, with a pretty good position for black. Then there is another option. Bishop e6, d takes e4, f takes c4, bishop e6, queen b6, and probably just a moment, d takes c4, f takes e, no, if d takes c4, f takes c4, knight eg4, and we're just breaking connection between the queen and the bishop, and that should be better for black. By the way, Hui Fan is still thinking here. I'm pretty sure she had this position on board at some point. This is more or less a known position. Just like I told you, usually white goes with the king h1 followed by queen g1, controlling the h2 pawn and defending just everything. This g3 is not that popular option, but let's just take a look at this. Somebody in the chat room says, anyone sees knight eg4 for Yifan now? Knight eg4, I don't think it works. F takes g4, knight g4, bishop c7 intermediary move, knight takes f2, and then bishop b8, knight e1, and it would be, I believe, piece up for her. So she went for the line that I mentioned previously. Bishop takes b6, queen b6, and d takes e4. Well, we've been talking about that position, and we've been talking about the difference between first bishop b6 and d takes e4, or first d takes e4 and then bishop b6. More or less, in most of these variations, it's just transposition into the same variation, but I like her game very much. Okay, we'll get back to this game. Let's take a look at the game of Kleinman. Lots of complications. Kleinman playing white. We're on the move 36. So knight d3, bishop f8, and knight 3 to b4. Kleinman is much better in this position, if not like completely positionally winning. I really enjoyed this game. He went for knight b4, attacking the queen on c6, pawn on a6, threatening queen f5 afterwards, threatening queen h7. Yes, queen f5, exactly. And now, for example, if king, yes, this one knight f6, and black can resign in the next move. Is he gonna play knight f6? Knight f6. Let's go, Kleinman. So this is pretty good. Ponsa got destroyed in this game. Oh, knight a6. I love this one as well because he's just won a pawn. This would be a great win. This would be a great point for our guy, not just because he's like underdog in this game and because he's like lowest rated in our team and Perez Ponce is highest rated in their team, but at the same time, it's really, really big win, and it's really great thing to start a match with a game like this. Knight ac7 wants to make a path for the pawn on a5, wants to play a6, a7, and a8. Queen f6, it's checkmate. Queen f6, king g8, queen g6, king h8, knight f6, and mate is coming. Okay, let's just follow this game. I see queen f6, king h7. No, queen f6, king g8, queen g6, bishop g7, knight f6 followed by queen e8 mate. Why b4, man? Queen f6 and its mate. But okay, everything is just completely winning. Kleinman completely destroy his opponent, and he is just now having a bit of a fun there. And yes, that's great. Finally, we started match with a win, and with a big win. Michael Kleinman won by resignation against Federico Perez Ponsa. Raja Panjwani against Andres Carlos Obregon. By the way, we'll get back to this game of Kleinman. It certainly deserves to be fully and thoroughly checked, but in the meantime, between the first and the second round, finally we won one match, we won one game, and finally we started the match the way we're supposed to. Okay, Raja against Obregon. Position looks a bit, I'd say, once again around roughly equal. If I had to give somebody slight advantage, that certainly would be black because of better position of that queen on e4. I mean, right into the center of the board, but okay, position looks absolutely fine. I mean, this knight on d5 seems to be like a complete monster there. It's doing a good job, so it's nice. I don't like entirely this pawn on f5, because at some point it may turn out to be a weakness at some point. But okay, we'll see what's going to happen there. Let's get back to the game of Robin van Kempen and his opponent. We'll come back to the game, to the move 16, when Robin played h6 in order to play some rook e8 and f5. I spoke about that. Bishop a3, rook e8. And after d4 played f5, knight g3, e4, knight d2, knight g6 on f4. Amazing knight. It's going for the d3 square. Queen c2, knight d3, rook e3. Robin didn't even, okay, he went king h8, considering to take on a3, rook takes, d3, queen d3, and queen f6, bishop c2. Robin's position is certainly winning, probably rook b8 to just keep exchanging pieces, because he's up on exchange. And for all of you, well-known and good rule, just trade off pieces when you're up material. Once again, Montreal Chessbrahs leading 1-0 against Buenos Aires Krakens. Michael Kleinman defeated their highest-rated guy, Federico Perez Ponsa. Great thing, Raja is around equal. Robin van Kempen has almost winning position. And let's take a look at the game of Hu Yifan. We'll get back to the game to the moment when she played 20th move, bishop e6, bishop e6, queen b6. She captured on e4, we spoke about this, f takes e4, and played rook ed8, taking control of the d file. I very much like this position, threatening some, for example, I was about to say, what if c5, but then slight tactics, rook takes d2, rook takes d2, knight f3, followed by knight takes d2 with a winning combination for black. After queen a3, she went for knight f to g4, queen f4, h6 to play g5, h4 to stop g5, and she went for a very nice move, queen d6, threatening pawn on b4, threatening queen d4 check, pinning this. Oh, this is very nice. And after knight f3, she captured the pawn on b4, knight e5, played queen c5. I believe that she's much better. You can immediately see the class, and Hu Yifan is proving right now why she's considered to be one of the best women ever in chess. Of course, Judith is holding the title, but of course, Hu Yifan is right after her at the moment. Altogether with Judith Polgar, she's the best woman in the world. Okay, so knight takes e5. Well, I wish this girl was playing for us earlier, because I'm pretty sure she would show her opponents a real class and the way we should all play this game. But okay, I guess it's never too late. We still have theoretical chances, though. We have to win both of these matches, and right now there is a match ongoing between Sopranos and St. Louis Archbishops. So we should probably cheer up for Sopranos because it's easier to get those two teams than to just, because we need to, at the moment we're in the 6th place and we're just fighting, believe it or not even to be relegated. And if we win both these matches, we still have some theoretical chances to qualify. Okay, so this is a good thing. I like her position so much. King on g2 looks very bad, very weak. Knight on e5 looks like complete dominator of this game. And the queen on c5 also doing a great job. The diagonal bishop on b7. Look at the harmony of the black pieces. I really enjoy this one so much. Okay, by the way, at some point I'll just read to you a number of points that our teammates made so far. You would be more than surprised with the small number of points, like every single player of our teammates so far. And I believe only like 2 guys made like over the 50%, which is almost unbelievable. But okay, so rook takes d8, of course, rook takes d8. She's now threatening rook d1. Well, take it and play queen d4, for example, and get the space. So rook takes d1, knight takes d1, queen d4, threatening the knight and the pawn on e4. Probably knight f2. Then she can even, no, I was about to say she can take on c4, but not because of queen b8 check. So rook d1, knight d1, queen d4, knight f2. Probably some king h7 prophylaxis or something like that, in order to avoid queen b8, so she can probably play afterwards knight c4. Okay, rook takes d1, knight takes d1, and she went for f5. Also nice. I didn't see this move. It's nice, and it almost wins the pawn. So probably white has to play knight f2, but then once again she would probably have to play some king h7 in order to be able to capture by knight on c4 and to avoid some checks with the queen b8. But wait a sec, if knight f2, knight c4, queen b8, she can also play bishop c8. I forgot about that one. So she probably can cover herself with knight c4, queen b8, bishop c8. No, she captured an e4. Probably she wants to take the advantage of weak king on h3. What if knight g6, queen b8, and bishop c8? Once again with the idea of e5. That could be an interesting one. Her position really looks much better, if not like winning. She can also play e3 to open up the bishop on b7, take control of that diagonal, and yeah, this looks good. Knight g6, she went for that, and now bishop c8. Well, I spoke about this one, but she can also play king h7, exactly, because on queen b7 she would have queen f2, where she wouldn't only win the knight, but would be at the same time threatening to take the bishop on f1. This looks good. This looks good, and she is very close to win this game. Okay, knight g4, queen f5. Queen f5, pinning this knight, threatening the bishop on f1, exactly. and I don't see anything better but bishop g2. No, bishop g2 h5. Bishop g2 h5. So this is bad. So she probably, actually this Maxie Perez guy probably has to play bishop e2. She probably has to move the bishop to c6 and to play h5 next move. Can she play h5, queen b7, knight e5? I would probably h5, queen b7, knight e5. That looks also winning. That looks also winning. But I prefer bishop c6. I was about to say that because I keep this strong bishop and really want to. Now she's threatening like to win the piece on the spot with h5 and knight e5. Oh, I love this one. Look at this. If queen c6, h takes g4, bishop g4, queen takes g4, king g4, knight e5, fork. Is this guy gonna make this blunder? Bishop g4, queen g4. Is he gonna make that blunder? No. But then e3 followed by queen f2, and it's unstoppable. Queen f2 now. Yeah, exactly. And then she would first give check on e1, take the bishop. Amazing win, but really fun. And thanks for your appearance and your first game for Chessbrahs. Let's go to Kempen. We're on the move 34, rook 88, knight g6. Well, did he just blunder something really bad there? Knight g6. Is it crazy tactics that I'm seeing right now? If bishop g6, okay. So we're at the moment checking the game between Mario Villaneva and Robin van Campen. Just give us some moments because we're probably experiencing some technical problems. By the way, I'm just going to try to be like a radio commentator. And after bishop c3, it's Kempen's move. Kempen has to play rook e2. In case he plays rook e2, he's going to attack both. Bishop on f5 and knight on e7. Kempen he did it. Yes. Two pieces are hanging at this moment. And there we go. You got position finally. Bishop g6. And Campen is up an exchange, and he's certainly going to push this very hard for a win. Rook takes e4, nice. I believe this is practically winning for black because of this past c5, c6 pawn. Okay. Yeah, nice. c5 probably wants to put that rook down to c3 or c2. Yes. Supporting. Nice. Now he even fixed rook g4 first. Exactly. And now take on h4 or play c4 even. But c4 looks a bit scary because of some rook b5. Sorry. So I would probably go with, he played rook h4. Rook b5 and rook c4, exactly, nice. King e2 to play king to d3. King g4, rook to d3. Let's go, Campen. Let's go, Campen. Please, don't play with my nerves, man. Okay. Well, he can now play this from dusk till dawn, and he's got a good chances to win this one. By the way, objectively speaking, even without the pawn, this should be drawn. And by the way, for all of you who never experienced this type of an endgame, you should always go into the angle opposite of the color of your bishop. So this is theoretically drawn, it's dead drawn, and Campen is trying to play on some time, and king d4, maybe he's going to trick his opponent on time pressure. He's doing that. He keeps improving on his game, but can he really improve his position more than that? Okay. Yeah, I would also push this if I was black. Well, it's his a legal right to try this for more than 50 moves. Now he probably wants to go and to march up with that king to f5 and f4, if possible. But it's very difficult. It's very difficult to make any improvement here. He's doing some. He is doing some improvement. But why rook c2? That move is just an empty thing. I'm a Red Star fan. By the way, we're leading 3-0 after the first round. We already maybe even won this match after the first round. This didn't happen that often for Montreal Chessbrahs this season, and I'm very happy and I'm very proud of our guys that they're doing so nice tonight. King f1 here. Probably King f1 was the most accurate one. Well, Robin keeps opponent's king cut off, but I don't think it is going to entirely help him, because just like I told you, this position is dead drawn. He's trying to make some improvement. Oh, that f4 is bad move. f4 is bad move. f4 now he gives some chances to cut off the king and to cut off these pieces. Yes, nice. f4 is certainly a bad move by his opponent. Rook h3, nice. Now king e4 I'm expecting. I mean, let's just clarify something. This is dead drawn. That draw still, but at least he can okay. f5. Can he play rook g8 here? Or that one? Or yes, king f5, bishop h4, and then rook h8. Nice. Now he's gonna have some chances. f7, rook f8. Rook f8, man. Nice. Now he made some improvement, because now he can play another 50 moves trying to win this position. And all rule, don't put the rook or king on the dark squares in order not to blunder some stupid check. So, but okay, this guy certainly knows what he's doing, and this is exactly what I told you. King should go on the opposite color and angle of the color of the bishop. So he went there, and this is now theoretically dead draw. Somebody said Robin won the pawn, but this is still dead drawn. Bishop, I don't know, c7 or bishop e8, everything is the same. And this is more or less known to be drawn. If he can win this on time, that would be nice, but oh. Robin, rook a5, man, rook a5, and he won on time. I believe that in that position, I believe that I had the same position on chess.com puzzle the other day. Rook a5, bishop a7, and rook h5. Not rook h5, rook g5, in order to give the check on g8. Man, this is amazing. He won this, he flagged his opponent, and we won first round 4-0. This has never happened this year, and I'm really enjoying this commentating job tonight. By the way, don't forget, after this is the 8th round of the Pro League, after the first leg in tonight's match, we're leading, believe it or not, with big 4-0. Hui Fan playing white. She went for the ready opening. Knight f3, knight f6, g3, g6, b3, bishop g7, bishop b2, castles, and bishop g2. That's nice. By the way, don't forget, we need to win both of our matches. We still have some theoretical chances to qualify in the first top 4. Otherwise, a win is a really big value here because we're not going to be relegated. Actually, we were fighting to become champions, but not all the times things can go the way you plan. So c4, she goes for, she kind of changed and went from the ready. Okay, somebody told me that they have problems with, technical problems with the boards. For example, I all the time see these boards and games, and by the way, somebody said Maya should make a donation stream to improve his connection. Believe it or not, it's not because of my connection. Even though I live in Serbia, it's not because of my connection. So I'm just analyzing the game of Hui Fan, but I don't want to do that for you, you know, blindfoldedly here, because you cannot even imagine what's happening on the board. Somebody said, okay, let me just talk to the guys from the chat room. Isn't Eric Hansen retired? Well, last week he played like he's really retired chess player. So that was very, very bad appearance from Eric last week. Probably the best moment, not last week, I mean the last round was against Magnus Carlsen in that crazy game where everything was just hanging and where he had like mutual chances, but that was a pretty good one. Nothing, I'm just waiting for technical. Oh yes, let's go. Let's go for that. Let's go for that. And we're checking the game between Hui Fan and Maria Villanueva. Okay, so g3, b3, bishop b2, c4, d4, c5, c4, d5, and she did short castles. Okay, so this is nice for white. White really, really looks good. Queen b6 going against the pawn, bishop on b2. Probably she should go with some queen b3. I would go with queen b3. Okay, I can see like a very big amount of jokes on Hansen's form lately. You all know that Hansen is one of the best rapid and blitz bullet players in the world, but basically Eric himself and Aman Hambleton, they simply first of all they were in a very bad shape like most of the weeks during this Pro League, and by the way, in some situations they also didn't have luck. So basically we were expecting like way better performance by both of these guys, but you just have to keep in mind not just Eric Hansen and Aman Hambleton, but absolutely everybody in our team, including Robin van Campen, Jordan and Forrest, who, by the way, has one of the best results this year with almost 50%. They all made like a pretty bad performance. Even Kleinman didn't have such a good performance so far. But basically, if we can talk about solid performance so far, we can talk about Shyam and Shyam's performance and Raja Panjwani's performance. Okay, and by the way, I said the more, the higher rating Eric Hansen has, actually the more he's getting closer to 2700, he's like getting the worse haircut. So just let him know about that. And by the way, he looks like a typical chess player. So welcome to the 2700 world of GMs. Okay, let's just discuss about these games. Let's just go for knight takes c6. Yes, b takes c6. And yeah. No, I didn't say retarded. I said retired. So stop spamming and trolling around. So 92. Let's go. Hui Fan has a bit better position. We all know this type of game. It's a little bit better for white. I don't entirely like this position for both sides. I don't like this broken pawn structure for white, neither for black as well. So I don't like it so much. Okay, so let's go to the next game. Robin van Kempen against Maxie Perez. Robin van Kempen, he's the fastest chess player, fastest chess player in the Chessbrahs team tonight. He's the one who flagged his opponent in dead drawn position, which is nice because eventually maybe will need these points. And this was a big 4-0 for Chessbrahs. Let's just check the opening. e4, c5, knight f3, g6. We all know the name of this opening. It's accelerated dragon. c4, bishop g7, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight c6, bishop e3, knight f6, knight c3, d6, bishop e2, castles, castles, bishop d7, queen d2, knight takes, bishop c6, f3, a5 to stop b4, to play knight d7, knight c5, b3 to stop a4, queen a5, knight d7 trying to trade off the bishops, bishop b3, knight c5 going with the queen b6 eventually, rook b1, and bishop e5. I know this position very well because I've been preparing myself lately in these positions, and I've been actually preparing myself to play this bishop e5 move in some of these lines. The idea is to play e6 followed by queen h4. So after knight to d1, e6, knight to f2, queen e7, and this is current position. Okay, this is more or less normal position, and I kind of like this position for both sides. At the moment, I actually prefer this position for black, not because it's better position for black, because I was preparing also this position to play with the black pieces. So it's a nice position, but let's be absolutely objective. White is a bit better, objectively speaking. Okay, so Aman Hambleton was wondering, is really Robin van Kempen the fastest mouse in a Chessbrahs squad? Yes, he is, because he managed to flag his opponent in the previous round in dead drawn position, and he was moving around, trying to sneakily do something, and eventually he flagged his opponent. That was a nice one. Okay, so queen e7, probably with the idea of rook f to d8. Also, in some positions, black can go with f5. So I don't know what is Robin gonna go for. Maybe some knight g4 in this position. Knight g4. Knight g4, bishop g7, knight h6, something like that. Okay, that could be just one of ideas. He can also play rook f to d1, keeping the rook on b1. Maybe sometimes, if in case he wants to play a3 and b4. But by the way, he doesn't want to go for that because he probably doesn't want to even think about the a3, because any a3 could be faced with a4 by black. Okay, so he played rook bd1. Just like I said, normal position. Probably black should go with rook f to d8, defending the pawn on d6 and just getting a good game. Okay, so yeah, rook f to d8 would be my choice as well. And now Robin should probably go with some knight g4, bishop g7, and then either knight h6 or maybe bishop g5 to provoke f6 by black to simply weaken these pawns and to go for them. This is a nice. What a great start for Chessbrahs players tonight. Let's go to Raja Panjwani game. So Raja Federico Perez pawns against Raja. Knight f3, knight f6, c4, e6, g3, d5, bishop g2, c5, castles, knight c6, d4. They just transposed into the Taraj defense. D takes e5, d4, knight a4, bishop f5, bishop f4. Apparently here he managed to get control of the c5 pawn. And as far as I see, white is clearly up a pawn. Rook c1, queen d5, queen b3, queen h5, queen b7, d3, knight d2, bishop g2, king g2, d takes e2, rook e1, and played rook ac8. After knight f3, knight d5, bishop d2, rook c7, queen b3, rook b8. I have to say that I like Raja's game here most of the time, but I believe he somehow helped opponents' queen to get back into the game. I believe he had to take advantage of the fact that the queen was completely misplaced and was on b7. After f6, rook d1, g5, queen e6. I believe now Perez pawns got an upper hands here, and he's the one who's playing this for a win. At some point, I like the Raja's game. Oh, bishop g5 followed by rook d5. I like this one. Unfortunately, Raja is lost. Let's take a look at the Kleinman's position. Kleinman is in big shape tonight. I don't know what he's using tonight, but I like that one so much. So d4, knight f6, c4, a6, knight f3. He went for the Queen's Indian, g3, and played Yasser Seiravan's favorite move, c6, which is kind of similar to the close type of Catlin positions. After bishop g2, d5, queen c2, bishop e7, castles, castles, knight bd2, bishop b7, e4, and he went, yes, this is nice. I already played one tournament game in the past like this against GM and draw. The point is that he was delaying development of the knight on b8, and he didn't put this knight like everybody else on d7. He actually did it on a6, and this is now an improved version of close Catlin. After a3 to play some b4, probably c5 immediately, but he first played rook c8 before c5. He takes, b takes, b5, knight c7, knight h4, knight e6, knight f5, knight e4, rook e8, bishop e2, queen d7. I really, really like how did he play this closed Catlin type of game. I really like this one. And after, let's get back to the game after 24th move a4, knight e4, knight f3, knight c3, queen b4, rook c4, queen a5, d3, queen a7. I really enjoy this position. d4, nice. He's now threatening to take on f3 at some point and to take on a4. Kleinman is in big shape tonight, and he's really doing great. Look at the powerful pawn on d3. This really looks powerful. By the way, somebody just updated us that Raja Panjwani lost. No, he hasn't lost his game yet, but he's completely lost. But we're not going to go back to that game. We're at now analyzing the game between Andres Carlos Obregon, GM from United States, against Kleinman. Kleinman is much better, if not completely winning. Although I'm a little bit afraid of this a4 and b5 pawns. You know, as soon as your opponent keeps having threats like connected pawns, especially like this and pretty much advanced and forward in this game, like this pawns on a4 and b5, you always have to be very careful. By the way, let me just suggest you something. I lately work on lots of tactics. I want to go with queen d5, knight d2 check, and queen takes f3, setting up a nice mating pattern. So I just showed you one idea that Kleinman can consider here. So I'm just talking about the ideas with knight d2 check, king h1, and queen d5, followed by queen takes f3. I was just talking about some tactics. Okay, this is good, and he's just much better. Let's take a look at the game of Hu Yifan. We really need to fully respect her. This is her second game for the Chessbrah. First one was really great. I also find the previous game played by Hu Yifan theoretically very important because she just shows us hedgehog players how should we treat g3 in the best way. She played it in the most active fashion. Okay, right now we're just analyzing the game. We're analyzing the move 22nd, rook fc1. Let's get back a little bit because we stopped at 13th, move 92 when she played. Bishop e6, queen c2, rook a b8, bishop e5, rook bd8, knight b3, c5, h3 to stop knight g4, knight e7. Then she exchanged the dark square bishops, played f4, knight f6, e4, got the center, rook fc1. Very interesting, very interesting. And after a5, a3, queen b6, rook a b1, queen c7, this is current position. It's Hu Yifan's move. Actually, it's her turn. Probably she should be going with some queen f2 here or queen c3. Yes, she went for queen f2, going against the pawn on c5. I also like the queen c3 idea because it would attack the pawn on a5 and also pin the knight on f6. So queen f2, I don't see anything else for black, but rook c8. I don't know why Villanova keeps wasting his time in that position. So that's a pretty interesting moment of the game. So yes, he went for rook c8, and now it's Hu Yifan's turn. I don't know. I don't see anything better, but I don't know, maybe some g4 moves there to play f5. She can also play f5 immediately, but then she would permanently create some weaknesses on e5. And that's like an interesting thing. Okay, we've got some updates. Robin van Kempen, let's go and let's switch to his game. Robin van Kempen looks like he blundered. Okay, we're just analyzing the move 37. Let's go to the game of Robin van Kempen. Robin is completely lost. Robin keeps blundering. Well, in a way, I just have to remind all my friends and all viewers that once you stop playing seriously chess, actually he's studying and he's now mostly focused on his studies, it's really difficult for you to cope with all these best guys, to have like to be like all the time in a good shape. And now I believe that most of these guys should understand me and the way I'm playing sometimes. So, okay, he played h6, he's down a piece, but he should be lost in that position. He keeps blundering, and he really has lots of problems lately. By the way, his performance in this league wasn't that bright either. He played h6, creating some counter chances, but he's lost. Okay, let's check the game. By the way, I just want to give you an update. Federico Perez Ponsa defeated Raja Pandwani. Let's take a look at the game of Kleinman. Kleinman, who's got a better game. We're just analyzing the move after. So 21st move, c5, rook c5, a4, knight e4, knight f3, knight c3, queen b4, rook c4, queen a5, d3, queen a7, d4. This is where we stopped last time, and his opponent went for h4. Kleinman has like a lot of options. He's got an option with knight e2 check. He can even play some calm move like h6. Kleinman went for queen f5. Queen f5. I'm not entirely sure about this move. By the way, don't forget, this is the second leg of the match between Montreal Chessbrahs and Buenos Aires Krakens. We're just leading so far 4-1. And at the moment, we're analyzing the game between international master Michael Kleinman and grandmaster Andres Obregon from United States. Okay, so queen f5. Queen f5 threatening the knight on f3. Well, I would always first make sure that my king is open, so I would always first play some h6, g6, or whatever. We just got an update by Hambleton, then Kleinman and Yifan are doing well. Okay, we're analyzing Kleinman's position, and his position really looks better. On the other hand, Yifan also has a good chance. Yes, I would also play h6 to make sure that my opponent cannot come up with some well-known mating pattern in the back rank. So Kleinman's position looks good, but okay. Let's just say it's not like that easy. First of all, I'm always afraid of these two pawns on a4 and b5. I'm also very much afraid, or at least I used to be, about the idea with I don't know. I mean, he's threatening to take on, actually, he's not even threatening to take on f3 here. It's not an easy position. It's not an easy position. I'm now thinking about knight takes d4. What if that? What if that knight takes d4, queen f6, bishop b7, rook takes d4. That's why I'm telling you. Okay, his position looks okay, but let's just be honest. I mean, because of really bad time for both of these guys, or just because they both are running out of time, objective assessment of this position should be with mutual chances. Completely unclear, I'd say. Okay, let's go to the Yifan's game. Hui Fan, she's doing a bit better. We're on the move 30 after rook bd8 by black, threatening to take the pawn. So she played knight b3, threatening the pawn on a5. And bishop d7, probably rook b6. But on rook b6, bishop a4. Well, I don't like position at the moment I don't even like position of Hui Fan here. First of all, I did like it. She was clearly up a pawn and it looked nice, but I don't see what is she gonna go for here. On rook b6, bishop a4. Somebody said Hui Fan is winning. Well, she was way better, but don't forget, time is taken away, and at a moment after bishop d7, I don't see rook b7, bishop a4. If rook b6, bishop a4, maybe some practical chance with maybe knight c5. Knight c5, bishop e5, knight d3. But then just bishop c4 and position is roughly equal. That's pretty interesting. On rook b6, bishop a4. On knight c5, bishop e5, knight d3. First, bishop takes e4 and getting like an equal endgame. So yes, knight c5 maybe. Yes, exactly. She did it. Threatening the rook and threatening the bishop. Probably black has to capture on b5. Knight c5, bishop b5, knight takes d3. And by the way, just keep in mind, even though Hui Fan's rating is 2670, our average rating is actually above 2500, which is allowed if you have a woman in your team, because she decided to go like this to second exchange. Oh, what is this? What if rook d2 here? I don't see what's happening. Why did she play like this? I thought she would have taken on d3 and go for an endgame like this. She played c takes b5, and now I don't see what if rook takes rook d2. Exactly, rook d2. She has to take, and has to play king g1, f1, or king f3. Probably in case of rook b2, she would go with a4, and then she just wants to go with, I don't know. I'm not entirely happy with the white's position. Now black is threatening to go with rook takes rook c3 and rook takes a3. I believe that Hui Fan blundered there. Knight a4. She played this move to stop the rook c3. I guess she's also aware of the fact that the things didn't go well for her in this game. Rook a2. Yes, she looks lost here. As far as I'm concerned, this looks lost. She made a blunder. Why did she capture on b5? Why didn't she just take the rook on d3. Probably she didn't want to go for. Probably she didn't want to go for a drawn position. But okay, now it's gonna be difficult to save this one, especially because she's running out of time. Yeah, this is lost. This position looks lost. Which is not a good news because we're still leading 4-1. Let's take a look at the game of, I wanted to say let's take a look at the game of Robin van Kempen, but he lost. So forget about that game. Raja Panjwani also lost, and Kleinman. Let's take a look at the game of Kleinman because Hui Fan is lost. Things didn't go well for us in this round. After 4-0, this is surprisingly bad. Okay, probably D1 now. We're analyzing the game between Obregon and Kleinman. After D1, knight D1, knight D1, rook D1, rook B6. This is dead drawn, and it's nice because once again, Kleinman played a great game, and once again in a game where he was like underdog, he managed to perform well and to make a draw. Congratulations, and Kleinman really plays in a great shape tonight. Okay, I'd like to go and to watch the Hui Fan's game. Oh, she resigned. She resigned, so let's get back to the game of Kleinman. This is gonna be a draw and surprisingly bad round, and after 4-0 in the first round, now we're just leading 4.5 to 3.5. Of course, hopefully he's not going to lose this endgame. I mean, even in hyper bullet, you should be able to hold this one. Wow. Like somebody said, just like that, it was 4-0, and just like that, it's 4-3, with probably result 4.5 to 3.5. Rook F6 threatens nothing. Somebody said, Maya, go to the move 55 of Robin van Kempen's game. We'll go there. Don't forget about that. Okay. I'm expecting every single moment Kleinman to make a draw against his opponent. It's also not fully correct by his opponent to try to play this one, but okay. They might say Robin van Kempen tried to win on time in, like, theoretically well-known drawn position as well. So, okay. It's an interesting thing that White rejected draw offer. Check on H1. By the way, this is so easy to make a draw here. By the way, I believe that Kleinman in this game had a great chances to win this one. King G5 play. No, he doesn't want to take any risks. And yeah. Well, if we manage to hold in this game, and I believe this should not be any problem for black, because this is like dead equal. I just have to tell you that after fantastic first round, that we managed to win like 4-0, we just dropped a lot, and we just lost the previous. Actually, lose this round with 3.5 to half, which is unbelievably high, because we were so close to win the whole match. Obregon doesn't want to make a draw. Immediately bring the rook back. Yeah, Obregon doesn't want to make a draw. That's very interesting. What a correct chess player. This is unbelievable. They keep playing for more than 50 moves, position that should have gone and should have ended like that theoretical draw, like 50-50 moves before, and finally they made the draw. Wow, what a surprising second leg, and what a surprising. Actually, our team goes downhill after. Actually, they were leading 4-0, and now we're only leading 4.5 to 3.5. Guys, it's time to carry on with the stream. We're in the third round of the match between Montreal Chessbrahs and Buenos Aires Krakens. So at a moment we're leading 4.5 to 3.5. We're just analyzing the game between Maxie, Perez, and Raja Panjwani. So Perez went for e4, Raja went for Alekhine's defense. Not that popular nowadays, but it's still good. e5, knight e5, d4, d6, c4, knight b6, and e takes d4. This exchange variation, or Voronezh variation that many guys call it, it's one of the toughest variations against the Alekhine defense, one of the most solid ones. C takes d6, I believe more solid option by black is e takes d6. Because after c takes d6, knight c3, g6, bishop e3, rook c1, and b3, this variation seems to be a bit better for white, for sure. And he went for Nakamura's option, bishop f5. Let me just explain you what the point of bishop f5 is. Bishop f5 is a waiting move, waiting for knight f3. In case white goes with knight f3, a bishop would immediately go to g4, pinning that knight and in a way weakening maybe the d4 square, or just doing something there. Okay, after bishop f5, bishop e2, d5, c5, knight c8. It's a well-known idea. Knight goes to c6, and that knight from c8 may go to, after e6, bishop e4, knight c8, e7, knight f5, eventually going after the d4 pawn. After castles, bishop g4, h3 captured, play d6, and now he just wants to go with the plan I mentioned previously. So knight c on e8, knight c on e8, knight c on c8 to e7, and that knight eventually goes on f5. I'm just reading the chat room, and Eric Hansen, that our top boards, first and the second run, from week to week keeps suffering. Actually, they keep suffering, and they keep really having lots of troubles with the time, with positions, with luck, with shape, with everything. So yes, that's exactly the way it is. Okay, so he went for knight e7, and let's just see what is white gonna do in this position. Okay, so knight b5. I didn't expect this move by white in this position. Knight b5 with the idea knight d6, but I don't entirely understand the idea, because I don't think he should be that much like, yeah, exactly, 96, 27, that he should be afraid of this idea. But now b4. Okay, what is a bit better? This Maxie Perez guy, he's doing pretty fine tonight, and I like his positions. I like his theoretical knowledge. He seems to be a very solid player. Okay, let's take a look at the game of Kleinman. Oh, very interesting position at first glance. So let's go. Mario Villanueva against Michael Kleinman. e4, c5, knight f3, c3, d5, e5, d4. Bishop d3, bishop d7. Trying to find a good place for this bishop on c6. Castles. I believe the real move here for white was bishop e4 to oppose potentially the bishop on c6. After bishop c6 for e1, g5. Oh, I love it. This is exactly my type of chess. g5, he wants to kick that knight away from after. So after g3, it's his turn. Well, he's got an option of bishop e7 and h5 and h4. Somebody said Kleinman's camera position is very interesting. Okay, I love this position. Simply, I'd go for bishop e7, and after bishop e7, h5 followed by h4, because I want to give my rook on h8 like full activity. I also want to give it like an important role altogether with the bishop on c6, because these pieces seem to perform fine in this position. Okay, it's nice. I'd like to keep following this game, but we simply have to go for more. And let's, at the moment, take a look at the game between Hui Fan and Andres Carlos Obregon. Oh, I know this line. So after e4, e5, knight f3, knight e6, bishop b5. So Hui Fan went for the Ray Lopez opening, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, castles, bishop e7, rook e1, b5, bishop a3, d6, c3, castles h3, knight a5, bishop c2, c5, d4, knight d7. An early attempt by black to play some c takes, e takes, and knight c6. That's the main line. And one of the options by white in this position, Peter Lacko used to play this with white pieces. I remember his game against Kramnik. He went for d5. And after knight b6, black now wants to break on the king side with f5, knight bd2 and f5. Similar to some d4 type of positions, whenever white manages to trade off the light square bishops and to reach e4 square by knight, this should be a great position for white. So this already looks a bit better. Queen d7, knight after g5. I'm not entirely familiar with this type of idea. Knight b7, queen d2, rook a1, h6, bishop h4, and f3. Yes, Hui Fan's game looks better. Don't forget, even though Obregon put all his heavy pieces onto the f file, it's pretty pointless here because there is no like a serious threat by black. Queen g6, king h2, rook f4, bishop g3, rook f5, and it's her turn. Okay, I apologize. She probably has to go with some b3 and a4 at some point. She has to break on the queen side and to create some weaknesses. This position, just like in the game I previously mentioned between Peter Lacko and Vladimir Kramnik, should be considered yes, she went for b3, I spoke about, should be considered to be a bit, but a long-lasting better for white. Okay, it's nice, b3, she's preparing herself for some a4, she's preparing herself for some c4. I'd like to go to the next game before we get back to this one. Robin van Kempen against Federico Perez Ponsa. So Robin went for e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and Robin is certainly one of all these guys who's just following the fashion, and he's going with the bishop c4, bishop c5, c3, and plays the d3. Castles, and if you remember in one of previous streams, I spoke about the a5 move that became very popular lately here and that gave black some great results lately. After d5, he takes, knight bd2, knight b6, bishop e5, bishop d6, rook e1, and bishop g4. Robin went for h3, bishop h5, knight e4, f5, knight g3, captures on f3, and after all these moves, we're currently following the game after black played the 19th move e4. D takes, f takes, queen e3, bishop f4, queen takes c5, e3, and it's Robin's turn. I just have to tell you once again and to remind you that Robin van Kempen keeps blundering a lot, which is not like very, very typical for him. But I was already talking about that during this broadcast and this stream, and I told you that once you simply stop playing professionally chess, you lose focus, you lose like playing routine, and it's way more difficult for you to play your games. And of course, probably the main drawback is bigger number of blunders in this type of games. Okay. Robin played knight f1. I don't know what is Ponsa gonna go for. Probably some e takes f2 or bishop d6. So e takes f2, rook takes f2. Another option could be bishop d6. This is quite an interesting moment. Okay, let's get back to the game between Panjwani and Maxie Perez. I like Panjwani's game. I like Panjwani's game, even though he's down an exchange. I positionally like his game very much. We're on the move 30th. Panjwani's position really looks good. I like power of knight on c6, blocking piece that keeps controlling pawn on d4, that keeps defending pawn on a5. B file is in his control as well. Well, what if queen b2, for example, here? I like this one. Somebody said he's down in exchange, though. You don't have to absolutely worry about exchange if you have positionally a game like this. His game is way, way better. Queen d3, even better than queen b2, threatening rook b2. Queen d3 with the idea of rook b2. Probably white has to move. No, this is great. Panjwani, he's got an upper hand in this game, and I very, very much like his position in here, and he's the one who's in the driver's seat here. Okay, so queen e3. Well, what if rook to b1 or even rook to b3? I don't. Queen to e3 is also okay, but I actually want to activate, or let's just say reactivate, one of my pieces. So I'd go with rook to b3, for example. Okay, we'll get back to this game. Panjwani is doing great. Let's take a look at the game of Michael Kleinman. Let's get back to the move 8, where Villaneva played g3. He took on c3. I spoke about being like more consistent regarding his attack, with the idea of bishop e7, h5, and h4. He just decided to capture on c3, b takes c3, and went for the queen d5. After bishop e2, h6, knight bd2, knight e7, bishop c4, queen d7, and this is current position. I'm not entirely happy now with the black's game, because somehow his position is cramped. First of all, his pawns are broken. He's got lots of problems with the f6 and d6 squares. And also black's pieces, they don't have enough space as far as I see. Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen there. Let's go back to the game of the so let's get back to the move e3, where he played bishop d6, queen h5, queen a5, and that's black's turn. Okay, so let me just see what's happening there. It's Federico Perez Ponsa's move. What if e takes f2, e takes f2, rook takes f2 is the only move? E takes f2, rook takes f2, rook takes f2, king f2. I'm not entirely happy with what has to capture by king and to bring it towards the center, but okay. E takes f2, rook takes f2, rook takes f2, king takes f2. Okay, let's go to Hu Yifan's game. This could be a very important round, because we almost won the match after the first leg, but then everything got way more complicated. I like Hu Yifan's game. Let's take a look at her game. It's 30th move. The knight on b7 is for sure out of the play. White's position is around the king side almost unbreakable. What I'm a little bit afraid of is Hu Yifan's time, because in the first game, actually second game, she had a nice position, but she didn't have like a good time consuming, and she lost the game once she started like wasting some time. This is good position. This is good position. And she keeps creating some weaknesses in black's game. I like this one so much, and probably queen d3 right now to go after the pawn b5. Or, yeah, queen d3, exactly. And now queen e8. And then rook a1. Taking like an open file with her rook and threatening rook a5 or rook a7 or even rook a8. This looks good for white. Oh, knight f7. Do you know how does it look like to me? Like, let's go for all in. If queen takes b5, knight g5, and he's certainly going to sack that knight, whether for the pawn on f3 or on h3. She took the pawn on b5, so she's not scared at all. Probably on knight g5, she saw some queen d7, I guess. But you know what? You got to be really sure what's happening there, and you got to be really confident when you go into the line like this. Well, I don't see anything better here for white by queen d7, bringing that queen to the g4 and just defending itself. Okay, I like it. I especially like very much the fact that she grabbed the pawn that she's going to play b4 afterwards. So this should be good. This really, really looks okay for Hu Yifan. We'll get back to this game. Let's go to Panjvani game. Maxie Perez against Panjvani. What has happened there? Rook a8, king h7. Okay. Well, I guess black is gonna go for some knight f5 or knight c6 and probably some bishop d4 in that position, in case he really wants to do anything there. Rook a7, I guess king g8. King g8, and then both of these guys can force the draw. I'm pretty sure that if somebody should force the draw here, that should be white, because black's powerful bishop, fantastic knight, possibility to do afterwards and to play a move like knight f5 followed by d4. All these things certainly give black a pretty good compensation. Okay, so let's see what's gonna happen there. I don't see anything better but queen f5 or king g8. But there is one problem that I see on queen f5. It's g4. H takes, queen takes, and okay, but what if in this situation we go with I'm just thinking about some queen f5, for example, by black in this game. Somebody said knight f5 and bishop d4 anyways. Okay, in this situation, if you play, yes, queen f5. Okay, what I don't like about this position is if g4, h takes, queen takes g4, queen h3 jack. I don't like the fact that white can exchange the queens. In that case, king on h2 is no longer weak, and c5 pawn becomes a very dangerous passed pawn. Exactly. I'm a little bit... This Maxie Perez guy, he's really playing good tonight. He lost to Hu Yifan in a nice game, but he's really doing and performed well. Yeah, g4, h takes, queen h3, king h3, And all of a sudden, pawn on c7 looks dangerous. Let's take a look at the game of Hui Fan and her opponent. Wow. Wow, from week to week, our top boards, just what Eric Hansen spoke about previously. He said that our top boards are really performing unbelievably bad. Hui Fan might be lost. No, she not might be lost. She's dead lost. She's dead lost. I can smell the mate here. I can smell it. And this Andres Carlos Obregon, he's probably going to give this Buenos Aires Krakens finally an even result. But it's unbelievable. After 4 rounds, we were leading 4 rounds. 4 games, we were leading 4-0. I wanted to quit and I wanted to say, okay, guys, I'm going to sleep. We won this match. But you guys always make sure all these matches to become completely crazy, completely unclear. Oh my goodness, 94. Look at this one. Oh, this hurts. 94. What a nice tactics. What a nice tactics. I love it. Unfortunately, it's against our top board. But that's the way it is. That's the way it is. So queen d4. No, sorry, rook e3, probably queen. Can I play queen f2 if I don't want to play queen takes e3? Can I play queen f2? Yeah. Okay, Hui Fan is still fighting hard, but she's lost. Let's go to the game of Kleinman. Kleinman plays crazy chess. He sacrificed the queen there. So let me just go there and show you the game. So let's go back to the move 12. Bishop c4, queen d7, queen e2, knight g6. I spoke about this position and I said that I don't entirely like his position, that he was supposed to go with bishop e7, h5, and h4 because his position looks like a Swiss cheese, full of holes, full of holes. So after 94, bishop e7, rook d1. Wow, Kleinman decided to sack a queen. Practically, I like decision. I like decision because he just wants to go with something. And after like bishop e5, knight c6, knight e2, long castles, queen e2, bishop d5, knight c4, g4 probably wants to play bishop f3, knight f4, bishop f3. I like this one. Queen e3, a6, bishop c6, bishop c6. I gotta be honest and to tell you that I like the way Kleinman's turns this game upside down. I believe at some point he was nearly lost. I like his position and I like the practical chances, especially I like the light square bishop c6. I like the fact that, why this move? Why this move? Looks ugly. But okay, what if knight a5? I really don't like this move. I don't know. I'm just thinking about some knight a5 here. Knight a5, bishop f3. But it's not my cup of tea, this b5 move. He probably should have just doubled these rooks and keep threatening onto the back rank. Bishop d6, he takes. Rook takes. Rook h to d8. I love it. Threatens mate in 1, rook d1. I like it. Okay. It's still okay. So how he managed to turn this game upside down from almost completely a lost game. By the way, I got a bad news. Raja Panjwani managed to lose his game there. Hui Fan lost her game. And I finally have a good news. Please let's switch to the board of Robin van Kempen. Robin van Kempen is winning. Holy, okay, this is good. Finally, some good news. Kempen is winning. Kempen is winning. He's up a piece. Let's just follow that game. Let's just follow that game. We'll get back to the game of, by the way, after 4-0, we're now losing. 5.5 to 4.5. Raja Panjwani lost. Hui Fan lost. But Robin van Kempen is gonna finally bring some luck to Chessbrah. Rookie 5. That's it, sweetheart. Yes. Knight f6. This is winning. This is completely winning, and yes, he's gonna be able to easily win this one. King e4, g4, g5, and rook e7, rook e7, the rook e7 meant to play g5. Okay, king g2, nice, g5, but that's why you needed your rook on e7 now. Okay, this is winning, and when did this win? When did this win? We need to change, not first rook f7, man. But okay, I mean, whatever he does, he's just like completely winning. And why did he play king on h4? Why on earth did he do that? Nobody knows. Rook b7, now king, yes, king e6, knight f6, and rook f7. That's the mating pattern. Knight f6 now, knight f6 now. But the knight f6, rook e5. Look at this, knight f6, rook e5. First rook b8, exactly. Rook d7 now. And now knight f6. Or this one in case of rook d6, rook d6. He's now threatening mate in. No, he cannot defend here. Finally, Robin won. Robin, congratulations, Robin. Kempsey won by resignation. That's good. Let's go to Kleinman's game. Oh, I like Kleinman's position. I like Kleinman's position, even though he's got a rook and the bishop against the queen. I like his position. He's certainly not going to have problems to, or he certainly shouldn't have problems. By the way, he's threatening rook h3 followed by rook h1 checkmate. Look at this, queen e7, I guess. f3. Rook takes f3, okay. King b6, exactly. King b7. Queen e7, Kleinman, take the draw. We should be happy with the draw because you had lots of problems in this game, but you came up with a great counter-attacking chances and counter-play. So this is crazy. This is going to be crazy. Before the last round, it's going to be 6-6. Will Kleinman force here? Will Kleinman force here? Somebody should tell him, captain of the team, to make a draw. He's the brightest side and in our team tonight. Oh, this guy doesn't want to make a draw. So the appetites are just a little bit higher for this Mario Villanueva guy. Nice. G3, I love it. Queen c6 and he takes f7. Oh my God, queen c6 and it, exactly. Ah, crazy. That's exactly what happens when you force. And now check and he's losing the rook. Queen d5 check and he's losing the rook. We keep losing, winning, drawn games. We don't have luck. This is completely crazy. Completely crazy to lose that one. Completely crazy last round, and just like everything like in previous rounds. Okay, time to roll on. Perez Panza White playing against Hui Fan. He went and opened up the game with ready opening, played knight f3. Let's get started. Let's get rolling. Let's kick their ass and let's finally win some match. Bring us some luck. Bring us some energy. And please, we deserve some really positive moments during this commentary and these games. At least all the spectators, we really deserve Chessbrahs to win some matches. So knight f3. Hui Fan, she's just walking around, drinking some tea. She's not on the board, just waiting. Okay, she played g6. Okay, g6. She probably wants to play some King's Indian, but by the way, if e4, she can play either modern or she can play c5 and transpose into the accelerated dragon. Nothing. None of this. So after g3, they just want to play some a hot double fianchetto, which can transpose into some type of hedgehog positions. Castles, bishop g7. By the way, you just need to keep watching this match. We're losing 6.5 to 5.5. Don't forget, I really want to keep repeating these ones. Buenos Aires Krakens only made one draw out of 7 matches. They haven't won a single match, and they're leading before the last round against us. Completely crazy result. Okay, so b3, especially considering the fact that we were leading 4-0. So b3. b3, it's Hui Fan's turn. She went for d6. They started like already. She played g6. Now they're playing some sort of King's Indian. After d4, she simply has to play knight a4. Otherwise, white is going to play d5 and close the bishop on b7. So knight a4 is screaming to be done here. It has to be done, of course. She has to take and to play bishop e4. That's like a typical reaction in these positions. Why bishop e4? Because once you take on c3, white wants to push the pawn up to d5. And exactly. So she goes with knight takes, knight c3, and bishop e4. Okay, we'll get back to this game. Position is pretty fine for black. I like the way the opening goes for her. To me, it looks okay. Yifan has a nice position. Let's go to Campen. What I very much like about the Campen, he managed to win that game previously, so it's nice. Carlos Obregon plays a very nice. He's got a very nice result and very nice games tonight. So this guy's performing fine, but it's time for Robin to show his class and to win it. Let's take a look at the starting moves. d4, knight f6, c4, c5, and didn't want to go with d5. Probably he was afraid of either Banco or Benoni. Played knight f3, c takes, knight takes, and here Gary Kasparov used to play e5, knight b5, d5, that pawn sack variation. You can have like tons of really crazy tactical games and books written about that one. But then he actually went for the knight c6. Boring. And after knight c3, he played e6. That's only one of the options. Of course, he could have gone with g6, queen b6, even d6, but he went for e6, threatening bishop e4, a3, and bishop c5. Knight b3 brought his bishop back to e7, castles, b6, and this reminds me of some sort of hedgehog position. That's why he played knight e5, brought his knight back to d7, and now when you have the bishop on b7, e7, flexible knights on f6 and d7, this is nothing else but typical hedgehog type of game. So f4. Idea is to play e5. Idea is to play e5. Obregon wants to play e5. I didn't expect f4 by white. I kind of like that bishop g3 and f4 idea. To me, it looks pretty scary to do e5 and knight e4. Well, this guy really plays fine. And if he now plays e5, followed by knight e4, this game can really become completely crazy. Okay, let's take a look at the game of Michael Kleinman and Maxie Perez. Oh, I like this one. Kleinman went for e4, c5, knight f3, d6, d4, and he went for one of the most solid options for white against Sicilians with d6. He went for the queen d4. If you remember, Magnus Carlsen played that in Wycombe a couple of years ago against Gwen Jones and won a very nice game. After a6, he went for h3. It's a nice move. It stops bishop g4, and once he puts his queen on e3, that queen is not going to be disturbed by knight f6 and knight g4. So after like knight c6, queen e3, knight f6, c4, g6, bishop e2, castles, knight c3, knight e7, rook d1, a5, b3. I don't entirely like the move b3. Maybe a rook b1 would be a little bit like more precise. He played b3, knight c5, bishop e2. No. Actually, this is the way he's supposed to play. Rook a b1, knight takes a4, knight takes a4, took on g7, took on a4, and he can now break with, for example, c5. He can break with e5. He can take on b7. But why would he take on b7? Why don't he play just, for example, e5 or c5? I like his position. This is nice. By the way, I like this one. Playing with white pieces. I remember playing once against top 12600 GM. I was easily winning, but just because I'm complete petzer, I drew that game. Queen c7, okay. Well, this is nice. He takes, creating like two isolated, potentially weak pawns. This is like really good. Somebody said, think it's very drawish. I don't think it's very drawish. I think this is such a nice type of game where you just where you should play very slowly and simply grind your opponent down till the rest of the game. This is nice. Just order the coffee and keep torturing your opponent. I don't like knight e4. I don't like knight e4. I immediately have to say that. When knight e4? I didn't like the knight e4 because knight on f3 was certainly better than the knight on c6. Kleinman is down a pawn, but don't be worried about that pawn. He can always get a pawn back. I'm talking about either pawn on b7 or d6. Somehow, I've been following Kleinman and his games in all these matches. When it comes to positional chess, Kleinman doesn't have nerves to simply play slowly and play positionally. He all the time has to go with some either simplifications or to go with some craziness. Just if you remember with that G4 idea out of like easily positionally better game. So in my opinion, he has to work on his positional chess. Bishop c4, you see, he all the time goes for some initiative tactics. It's nice, it's skill, but definitely if you want to reach like GM, you gotta go and play better positionally. Bishop d5 now, and it looks good, but let's just be objective. This is going to be a round drawn. Okay, let's go and take a look at Raja Panjwani's game. Raja is up an exchange, but this is one of those positions where his opponent actually sacrificed an exchange. But okay, Raja also sacrificed an exchange. He had a great position in the previous game and he couldn't win the game. Tough games. I can immediately tell you that these are the tough games. Kleinman is hardly gonna win that position. Raja hasn't. Okay, I'd say this is position with mutual chances absolutely unclear, or let's just say around equal. Bishop g4. Nothing that special. I mean, white looks okay, but somebody said I like Raja's position. But I also like it, but if you ask me, he doesn't have any particular advantage or anything that specific and special in that type of game. What I want to say is that this position can hardly turn into a win and can hardly become something completely crazy. So it's pretty solid for black. Kleinman's position is around drawn. Let's take a look at Hou Yifan's game. Oh, I like her position. I like her position. I like her position because that knight certainly looks better than bishop. And I don't like the last move by white g4. I believe that at that point, he was maybe a bit better. But g4, to me, it looks a little bit suspicious. But why knight g7? Why not knight h4 followed by g5, knight g6, and knight, either knight e5 or knight f4? I don't know. I didn't like her reaction with knight g7, especially because then she fully justifies the pawn on g4, and that knight on g7 is just limited. You know what, guys? We really need not to lose this match, because if we lose this match, we're going to be relegated from the Atlantic division, and now we just have to play next year and to compete and just to qualify for the finals. Can you imagine? Last year we were winning almost the semifinals twice against Wesley So and fantastic team, and this year we're just fighting not to be relegated. What is chess? Okay, queen g3. I don't like the knight on g7. I don't. Why didn't she play knight h4, g5, knight g6? Probably she saw something like bishop e4 to limit that knight or something, but weird. Okay, let's take a look at the game of Campen. Campen against Andres Obregon. I need some time to take a look at this position and to give an assessment. It's difficult. First of all, I need to check the material. Second thing, it's equal. Second thing, judging by pawn structure, it's a bit better for black. Third thing, I have to check if there are any potential threats, or let's just say weaknesses. Well, this is complicated. This is complicated, and this looks roughly equal. Let me just see. Everybody talks about Kleinman's game. Let's move to the Kleinman's game. Wow, Kleinman won. Kleinman won the game. That's fantastic news. Kleinman won the game. Let's take a look at that one. Bishop d5, 25th move. He went for the bishop d5, going after the pawn on b7. Played queen d4, played queen f6. That's what I told you. This guy keeps looking for some tactics. He played rook c4. That was the blunder by black. And after queen a3, took on e6, played rook c7, and won this game. What a massive win for the Chessbrahs. This is good. This is really good. Okay, rook c7, nice. Let's go now. Now it's equal, 6.5 to 6.5. This game I saw already almost as a draw. So this is fantastic. And now let's take a look at Panjwani's game. Raja's position is crazy. It's absolutely unclear. Anything can happen. if rook g5, f2, that's the very first thing I see, but objectively speaking, it's around equal. Okay, so yes, rook takes g5, f2, queen f2, rook g5, queen g5, yes, and that's around equal. Unless I just missed something, but that's the way it is. Let's take a look at the game of Hu Yifan and that guy, Federico Perez Ponsa. I believe top boards, our worst boards in the previous rounds, will decide this match. They will decide this match. It's a bad news for all of spectators, because if the top boards for Chessbrah have to decide, then it's gonna be very dangerous. So you know what I'm talking about this, because Kleinman made a fantastic score tonight. Don't forget, he lost previous game. He rejected the draw in that drawn position. So he really had a great appearance tonight. Congratulations, and finally a bright side in the Chessbrah squad. Okay, rook f6. Rook f6 wants to double up these rooks. And I really didn't understand this knight g7 move, because then she fully justified his move g4. But okay, I already spoke about that. Okay, this is very, very intense, and we really need to go from one game to another. Let's switch to the game of Robin van Kempen. Robin van Kempen, what's happening there? What's happening there? Robin's position, it looks... Robin's games are full of very crazy assessments of the games. At one point you can say that he's better. The very next moment you can say that he's worse. So he's playing either completely crazy positions or very unstable. I'm willing to say he's not as stable as he used to be, just because of the break I spoke about twice before this one. But okay, his position is unclear here, definitely. So we'll see what's going to happen there. Speaking of the time, Obregon is 3 minutes up, which means that he's like a little bit more confident about what he's doing there. Okay, position looks... Robin is threatening to take on b4, so probably what has to defend it. Rook d1 should not be played because of some knight c5, I don't know, and queen to d3, or I don't know. Somebody said it was 4-0 when I left. What the hell happened in this match? Nothing. Chessbrahs are doing what they do every single round. They're just playing with our nerves. And they're just doing something very bad with my blood pressure. So rook b2, defending the pawn on b4. Okay, we'll see. By the way, my name is Miodrag Perunovic, international master from Serbia. I'm your commentator. You're watching the match Montreal Chessbrahs against Buenos Aires Krakens. This is the last round. At the moment, it's 6.5 to 6.5. We need to win. This is the must-win match. We still have some theoretical chances to qualify for the top 4. More likely, we're just fighting not to be relegated. The curiosity is that Buenos Aires Krakens haven't won a single match so far. They only drew one, and after the first leg, they were losing 4-0, and they're still having some chances to win this one. This is crazy. Okay, so let's move to the game of Hu Yifan. Wow, she unbelievably improved her chances in that position. I love it. What I'm looking at, I love it. I'm just wondering, she should probably never take at this pawn on e6. Otherwise, that bishop on c4 is open. What I'm looking at, I really love this one. Wow, what a massive improvement in her game. Now the pawn on f4 is weak. Now the knight on d4 is dominating piece. Okay, this is fantastic. Oh, Perez Ponce is threatening cheap trick. Rook takes d4, queen on c7 is hanging. So probably queen b6 or queen b7. Anything is just good. She's doing great. Come on, come on. You gotta win this one. You gotta win this one. You gotta redeem yourself for losing second and third game. After such a nice win in the Hedgehog game, queen b6. She realized that this guy was threatening trick. Now bishop on e2 is hanging. Pawn on f4 is hanging. She's winning. Guys, she is winning. Will the world champion be able to simply grind down her opponent till the rest of the game? Now, this queen on b6 even turns out to be good because it's supporting the knight on d4, pawn on f4, d5, do it, d5, immediately, d5, followed by knight e2, by rook f4, by, this is completely winning. She's dead winning. Okay, she has to win this one. If Huifan, no, she's gonna win this one. d5, rook to e3. d5, rook to e3, rook f4, completely winning. d5, rook e3, rook f4, rook f4, rook f4, and just put the king on g8 and that's it. Wow, it's 6.5 to 6.5. She's winning. We gotta follow this game. She did it. She did it. She did d5. I was talking about this. I was talking about this move so much. She's completely winning. Let me see what's happening in Panjwani's game. We're gonna come back to this game because audience keeps talking about the Panjwani's game and they say he's lost. Yes, he looks like being completely lost here. Well, I told you that position looked weird. Panjwani is lost. Panjwani is unfortunately lost, which means that Robin van Kempen will decide everything. Because Huifan is winning, Panjwani is lost, and now let's immediately switch to Robin's game. Robin's game is unclear. It's unclear, and that's exactly what we need before like crazy time trouble. I mean, he really needs to go into, let's just say, unclear type of position with mutual chances, and then we can hope for the best. Well, this is gonna be very tough. This is gonna be very tough, but if there is a good thing, position is, let's just say, a bit better for white. Maybe it's unclear. But on the other hand, Robin is like hundreds, actually 130 rating points higher rated than his opponent, which is good, which means that we should have some advantage in this type of time scramble. So bishop takes b6. Queen e6 he played. Bishop a7. What if rook ec8? What if rook ec8? No, wait a second. I keep checking. Rook ec8, queen b6. Queen b6, bishop b6, bishop e4. Yes, and now I keep looking at queen b6. Oh, queen b6, maybe even have it. No. Queen b6, bishop b6, bishop e4. I don't like these two connected pawns for white. I also don't like that Robin is down on time, because he's not one of the best guys in time scrambles. Poof. I didn't expect this one by white. I believe this just gives Robin good chances. I mean, I still don't like these two pawns, but at least... I believe he gave Robin now some chances. I don't know why did he decide to play like this. What was wrong with Queen b6, for example, in that position? I didn't see anything that special for Robin. It's still unclear, but it's way better than it was like 30 seconds ago. Let's just take a look at Panjwani's game. Panjwani resigned. Hu Yifan, let's go there. Hu Yifan is completely winning. We're on the in the current position. She played c4. She wants to come up with knight h4. Queen f2. Checkmating is coming. It's on horizon. I can feel it there. So this is really nice. Okay, so Hu Yifan is winning. I'm not gonna come back to this game anymore. She's completely winning. That's obvious. Let me just see if white has any tricks. I don't see any tricks. She's threatening queen f2 rook h4 checkmate. Let's go to the Kempen's game. Kempen's game will decide everything. It's completely crazy. It's completely crazy. And that game has... Wait a sec. Can't he play queen f6? Can't he play queen f6? Queen f6 threatening the bishop on the 8. If queen f6, bishop e7, queen f2, king h1, knight g3 check, h takes g3, queen g2. Holy shit, this is mate. I'm so strong. Queen f6, man. Wait a sec. Queen f6, bishop e7, queen f2, king h1, knight g3, h takes, queen g2. Maya for the president. Let's go. Queen f6, he's winning. He didn't play that. He didn't play that. He didn't play that. You know, guys, I'm literally doing tactics 2 hours preparing myself for the European Championship, so I know what I'm doing. No, he didn't do it. But okay, queen g5. Wait a sec. He still has so many nice threats, but I don't like these two pawns on c4 and b4. f5. Play the f5, man. Play the f5. You gotta install that knight on e4. You have to do it. Somebody also said that queen f6 was computer move. Man, I want to play for the Chessbrahs next year. f5. Yeah, f5 defending there. f5. Play the f5. He's running out of time. That's dangerous. They're leading 7.5 to 6.5. Don't forget, Hu Yifan is winning. She's gonna win. That's gonna be 7.5 to 7.5. So anything can happen in this game. I just don't like knight c5. Do it, man. It's once again tactics. Knight c5, man. Knight c5. Bishop takes b takes c5. Bishop f3. Come on, man. He keeps missing tactics all the time. Okay, what if knight a6? Queen f4 with the idea queen d4, huh? Okay. Okay. I cannot give an assessment of this position. It's completely crazy to me and it's beyond my understanding. I just saw that he had tactics. I'm not sure if it worked, but it looked good. E-Fan 1, okay, we expected that. Rook C2. In the chat room, everybody kept talking about Rook C2. Queen takes D5, okay. Probably knight D4. Queen D3, huh? What's so strong about Queen D3? Maybe knight D4 with knight D6. Knight takes C1. He's lost. He's lost. He's lost. Knight C1, Rook C1, and the guy will promote on C8, and I can't believe that he's gonna lose this game. Come on, man. I mean, Rook C1, Rook C1, Queen A6, and then exactly. H3. If I was white, I would play H3. And exactly, and wouldn't give him a single chance. And now promote the queen. Man, Robin van Kempen has just resigned. I'll tell you probably the worst news anyone can hear right now. We lost to the team, Buenos Aires Krakens, that so far haven't won a single match. They only had one draw. Team against which we were leading 4-0 after 4 games, and we still managed to lose the match. I mean, it's completely crazy. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. And this is so difficult because we're going to be relegated. It's not a problem that you lose the match, but to fight not to be relegated, I don't know what to say. Thank you all for watching. Once again, disappointing performance. We lost. Don't know what to say. And we're going to play the last round again, Webster Windmills. Webster Windmills won all the matches. What should I say? We have to win that one not to be relegated. It's going to be extremely difficult, but if we could lose against the guys who so far haven't won a single match, then we can win against the guys who haven't lost a single match so far.